Well, when we talk about Turkish foreign policy at this stage, we're mostly talking about Turkey's regional policy. And when we also talk about Turkey's regional policy, we're basically talking about Iraq and Syria. And even when we talk about Iraq and Syria, we're basically talking about northern Iraq and northern Syria. And this is the area where Turkey faces all its challenges and crises. The number one is, as the nature of the regional transformation has changed, as right now we are having a region that is completely collapsing, the state structure is collapsing, Turkey is facing a civil war in Syria and a failed state in Iraq. That has created for sub-state and supra-state identities to dominate the scene, and also for the militia groups, for the radical movements to take the hold. So this is also defines what Turkey, the nature of the Turkey challenge. The first one is the PKK-PYD belt emerging from the Shingal in Iraq all the way to Afrin in Syria. This is the number one issue that Turkey feels that it is facing. And when you look at the nature of the Turkish relations, and not just in the region, but its discussion that it has with its international partners, such as US and Russia, that it is trying to lessen this impact, and it is trying to push back, or if it's possible, roll back the gain of PKK-PYD at this place as much as possible. The second challenge that Turkey faces is the growing influence of Iran on its neighborhood, in its neighborhood as well too. To some extent, the threat that Turkey faces with the PKK-PYD is interlinked with the threat that it is facing with Iran, because it sees, from the regional Kurdish politics perspective, it sees the PKK-PYD from the same alliance with Iran, whereas it is the Barzani within its own alliance. So therefore, the second goal of Turkey is to lessen or to curtail the influence of Iran in Syria and in Iraq, close to its neighborhood as much as possible. Because when you look at right now Turkey's Middle Eastern neighborhood, you have from Iran, Iraq, Syria, and to Lebanon, there is a growing Iranian influence in Turkey's immediate neighborhood. There is a line from Iran in Turkey's neighborhood. So Turkey will try to push back as much as possible. And related to this too is the third one, is the border security that Turkey had. Not just from the PKK, previously it was also from the ISIS as well too. With the Euphrates Shield operation, Turkey pushed back this to some extent, but nevertheless, the PKK-PYD, ISIS, and also the danger from Al-Qaeda, the version of Al-Qaeda as well too, that it poses to the border of Turkey. This is another factor that Turkey is very much concerned in its regional policy. On the top of this, I think, which is a very aggravating factor, is Turkey facing this with no solid regional and international alliance on its side. So there isn't any solid the regional alliance that Turkey is working with, and the Turkish relationship with its traditional allies like US is in disarray, and the newcomers such as the Russia, which Turkey hoped that will to some extent the lesson of the loss of US on its side, did not materialize. So these three challenges is there, but Turkey is facing this with no regional alliance structure and no international alliance structure in place.